All right, recording is on, everybody, which means like three or four people. Thank you for watching second episode of Mothership.
We have no viewers, but
Yeah,
welcome back to the experience of a lifetime.
yes, all four of you.
I
Woo!
I am the mysterious Dapper Jabber, A.K. Sean Koch, and this
Hmm.
with me is my creative counterpart,
Fable Forge.
the
Just leave it at that. Fable Forge.
the Forge of
Yes,
Fable.
yes, that's all the internet needs to know. Yes.
Oh, we are playing Mothership today, and in doing so, we're going through the rule book and being rusty because we haven't played this enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. Panic checks. Whenever a crew member dies, whenever you witness more than one crew member panic at the same time, when your ship rolls a critical failure, everybody on board, because if the ship's going down, everybody's freaking out. If you encounter strange or horrifying things beyond human comprehension, when all hope is lost, or just whenever the player feels it's appropriate time to make a panic check.
Okay. There is nothing
Some
to gain from
results
a
are
panic check, is there? It's only lose a lot or lose nothing. That's it.
for yes.
Okay.
Well, no. Let me rephrase that. So I'm gonna go down the list here, so you can have an expectation and everybody can follow along.
Okay.
Uh, so the panic check goes: you roll a 1d20. The goal is to roll under your panic, and as you are under your stress level. So as you get stress points, that's the number you have to roll under on a 1d20.
Okay.
And the effects get cumulatively worse. However, if you roll a one, it's adrenaline rush where you get a advantage on rolls for the next 2d10 minutes, and you reduce stress by 1d5. There is a possible to have a good outcome from panic.
Oh, okay. You have to roll a one in a 20-sided die.
Yes,
Yeah,
so it's a 1 in
that's
20 chance.
yeah. That's the
5%?
odds.
Never tell me the odds, kid.
Mm,
Um, So two would be nervous, where you just gain one stress. Three is jumpy, gain one stress. All close crew members gain two stress. Four is overwhelmed, where you get disadvantage on next roll for 1d10 minutes. Increase stress by one. Five is coward, gain new condition. You make fear save to engage in violence, otherwise you flee. Six,
Jesus.
frightened, gain a new condition when countering what frightened you. Make a fear save at disadvantage or gain 1d5 stress. Seven is nightmares, gain new condition. Sleep is difficult, gain disadvantage on resting saves.
Jesus
Eight
Christ.
is loss of confidence, gain a new condition. Choose one skill and lose that skill's bonus. Nine is deflated, gain new condition whenever a crew member fails a save, gain one stress. Doomed, gain a new condition. You feel cursed and unlucky. All critical successes are instantly critical failures.
See, if this was an employment contract, I would not sign it. I
Yeah.
would. I
Oh
would.
no,
Yeah.
this is this is the conditions of biological life. That's what this is.
I don't care how bad is the situation on Earth, right? If this was in the employer paperwork, I'll be like, I'll live on the
At
street.
ele-
Yeah.
so at 11, it's suspicious for the next week. Whenever somebody joins a crew, even if they only left for a short period of time, you make a fear save or gain one stress. You don't trust anybody. Haunted, gain a new condition. Someone starts visiting the character at night in their dreams out of the corner of their eyes. As soon it will start making demands.
Jesus Christ.
13 is Death Wish for the next 24 hours. Whenever something encountering a stranger or unknown enemy, make a sanity save or immediately attack them. 14 is Prophetic Vision. Character immediately experiences intense hallucinations or vision of impending terror or horrific event. Increase maximum stress or minimum stress by 2. Catatonic, become unresponsive and unmoving for 2d10 minutes. Reduce stress by 1d10. Rage, advantages on all damage rolls for the next 1d10 hours. All crew members gain 1 stress. Spiraling, gain new condition. Panic checks are always at a disadvantage. Compounding problems, roll twice on this table. Increase the minimum stress by 1. 19 on a 20-sided die in a panic roll is a heart attack or short circuit for androids, which is reduce maximum wounds by 1, gain negative or disadvantage on all rolls for 1d10 rounds, increase minimum stress by 1, and if you roll a 20, it just says retire, roll a new character.
Jesus Christ. I bet whoever was writing this was just laughing with a pizza. And it was, hey, what kind of tonic? Yeah, write it down. Kind of tonic.
Well, you gotta keep in mind this is a concept of gaining stress in the game where this is
Yeah.
essentially another health pool, but that health pool is just your mental stability. And if you botch that so badly that you get up to a 20 and you roll a 20, you end up just killing over dead because it's the
Yeah.
what 5% chance out of 100.
All right. So look, in response to this, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to detach myself emotionally from these characters who will all very likely suffer horrible fates, and I'm just gonna
Oh,
watch
absolutely.
this as a third-party outsider, just watching a story unfold. It's not really me.
Well, keep in mind,
Yeah.
at its core, this game is designed for like doing Aliens or The Thing. People are gonna die.
So
That's just part of the process.
one guy survived the thing, and I guess
Yeah,
one girl survived aliens. I mean, technically Bishop the robot, but they
yeah. But
turned
how many did they start with?
yeah like 20. Yep,
So
yep.
there's gonna be a body count at some point.
Oh my god.
Um,
All right, well it's a horror movie. It's Grindhouse. Let's do it. Tarantino.
well,
Yeah,
it's not about killing
yeah,
everybody. It's just like something's dangerous, and if you don't play it smart, you're not gonna make it out.
yeah, yeah.
You
Or
know?
you can play it smart and roll a one, and same outcome. But yeah,
If you're lucky, yeah.
yeah, yeah. All right, let's go, man. Let's do it.
Wounds, ranges. All right. So I think we're back up to speed. Recovery is once per day when resting. So every day players can rest and try to get back a certain amount of their health. After 6+ hours of rest, make a body save. If you're successful to body save, you reset your health to its maximum. However, that doesn't include wounds. Wounds only come when you reach the edge of damage, which we
Yeah,
went through the damage chart. I don't have to go through all these little things. I think
yeah.
we back up to speed. Now, what story wise? You want to give me a recap of what you remember from the story?
I don't remember much. So there was a main dining hall section where they were having the worst birthday party ever, and one guy is left between remains of cake and gore. There were entrances or exits depending on your point of view: north, south, east, and west. We barricaded west. We came from south. Oh, there you go. There you go. And we haven't tried north, which is number 3 in your book. We went through 4. 4 leads us to a freezer. And in the freezer, we found a dead guy, and he was holding a med kit, which we now have in my possession. And then we found an air vent. And then, very carefully, we went through the air vent, even though we didn't fit. We just went humans first and possessions later, which arguably is the way you live life. And we arrive at some sort of research room with computers in it, and we were just researching what was on the computers. And it was very cryptic notes, something about scientists playing experiments with the life forms there. But I don't
Hmm.
remember exactly what the details were. Uh, and I wish I took
You,
notes in
you
Discord. Yeah.
had gone past the pantry, or sorry, past the kitchen into the pantry, and there was a medical grade freezer at the back of that,
Yes, that's
which
where we found
led
the
to
frozen guy with a med kit.
which
And
led to the vent, and that got you into the med bay.
yes, the med bay, that's the area where the research is. And we were researching stuff. Yeah. I
And
hope.
there's piles of loose paperwork and computer terminals, which are all depowered right now. And you had gotten notes from a Dr. Edom uh,
Yes.
cited at the discovery of the Kribslieder, or the crab song, shrill shriek that the carcinids use in order to replicate.
They replicate by singing.
Yes,
Yeah, Carson
that's what
is
you can
just
gather
like
from the
us.
notes so far.
See who says Romance
Well,
is dead?
yeah,
Romance is
no,
not
they
dead.
have.
Yeah,
It doesn't say anything about disco balls, but you like to imagine that there was some,
yeah,
at least, lights
yeah.
and disco balls.
They get in the mood and someone starts singing. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a little device with me. I forgot the name, but it's good enough to power electric doors. Maybe it's good enough to power computers.
Let's see the equipment. That is back in this book. You had, what was the name of that
Well, there's
device?
several of them, but the one I think I'm talking about is called portable computer terminal.
All right, flat computer monitor, keyboard, and interface allows you to user to hack into pre-existing computers and networks. Will perform standard computer tasks. Doesn't say anything about powering up.
I hacked the door somehow.
Let
Uh,
me check back through this.
yeah.
Yeah,
Flash.
the power to this place isn't back on yet, so there's a
Yeah.
limit of what most of the systems. I
Okay.
mean, there's no lights. There's only the portable lights that you have on your suits.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Can any of the computers? All right. How about this? How about I open up the computer, pull out the hard drive, and insert the hard drive into my portable computer,
Yeah,
which
that's pretty straightforward. Yeah,
completely runs. So yeah, I grab a computer that's in the center of the room. That's usually where the head scientist commands his minions from. So that's the one I
okay.
choose to disassemble, and I just keep myself busy for a few minutes until I get the hard drive out, pull out my portable computer terminal, connect the wires, and I just go in the hacker sequence in the movies when I say, "I'm in."
I'm in.
Yeah.
So most of the notes you had about the discoveries were handwritten in a physical logbook in the paperwork on the floor.
Hmm.
And among that paperwork, there was the Edom had acknowledged that the android at the base, a Hinton. So there's a Dr. Edom and there's a Hinton who's an android. And Hinton had done the majority of the work in the discovery, but it was Edom who finally connected things and figured out how the signal, the shriek of these carcinids works.
Got it. Hintom Android and Edom did research together, mating via song. What else is noteworthy from their notes?
That's about it. Just
Got it.
the concept of they replicate and the fact that there's an android that is one who did most of the work of breaking down their
Got it.
mating calls, as it was. However, I want you to notice this room has a glass wall. So this is a medical area with an operating room inside and an observation and analysis outside. So one side of this room is, like a table where they'd have a subject, and the side you're in is the computer terminals and paperwork where the doctors were taking notes between experiments. And
Interesting.
through the glass, there is inside of the med bay, which there's a door that leads between into the glass. Um, the entire operating area has been destroyed. Remnants of equipment are smashed or fused together by this thick material that kind of looks like webbing, is the best way you can just think of it.
Of course it does. They are never
And
neat. Aliens are never known for being neat. Yep.
so let's see what we got in here.
Uh,
You can see through the glass with your light. What
yeah.
what was that?
I finish that and then I'll give you another thought. Yeah, you go first.
Various equipment in there. I was thought it listed a person. Oh, okay. There is just so much information here. There's various things in the other room. The door is locked. As soon as you attempt to look at it or try it, you realize the door is locked, and it's a car keyed system. Which again, the power is down, so you're not sure if it's even going to work. You'd have to bypass in somehow
Yeah.
just to get it to work, let alone having the
Yeah.
card. But
I've done that
um,
with three
you can see
electronic locks so far. This could be the fourth one.
you can see through the glass that there is containment tubes
Yes.
inside of this room that have not been smashed. And these
Yes.
containment tubes have these creatures crawling inside of them.
Okay. All right. So before I deal with the face hugger scene, while I'm still at the other side of the wall, I want to see if the hard drive that I stole from Chief Scientist, which is now connected to my portable computer terminal, is
Right.
readable. Is readable to me. Can I read anything in that hard drive?
Yeah, it's got tons of information about experiments on the wildlife, of the biological structures of plant life, the various different plants they've discovered, catalog of
Beautiful. Beautiful.
the what's it called? The oh, I can't even think of the word, but it's a scientific name for what the flora, the flora categories that have been discovered in the surrounding jungle forest
Got it.
areas, and other than that, there's hints, notations of certain wildlife. You have sort of like small mammals, small birds, things like
Okay.
that
So I
been
have two
discovered on the planet.
questions. I think one of them is gonna be no, and the other one is probably should be a yes. Here is the question that I think is gonna be a no. Are there logs in that hard drive about what happened, like security, like fight broke out, or so and so died, and oh God, what have we done? We play God, and we shouldn't have.
So there is in the hard drive. It hasn't been transferred yet. You have the physical logbook, which
Yeah.
he was taking notes on the discovery of an alien life form that they had found on the planet,
Okay.
and it had looked like he had not yet transferred that into the data on the
I
hard
see.
drive.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Usually in the movies they find a diary, which is very conveniently. I hear a scratch on the window. I wonder if there'll be and drop of blood. Right. So yeah, okay, that's what I was expecting. Second question. Surely these research scientists who had time to prepare specimens in tubes wrote about what the hell he was doing with his specimens in tubes. Like what I can see across the glass in the other side of the room, where there are little creatures moving about. Surely there is something in the head researcher's computer that says what the hell he was researching and what
Oh,
those
absolutely.
creatures are and what those creatures do.
It's breakdowns of the compounds of various things that they've discovered on these creatures. They're described as sort of crab-like, which is why carcinet is used as a name because it's literally like a Latin word for crab.
Uh,
So
sure.
these are crab creatures.
Yes. Yeah, does it say if they are dangerous? Does it say if they'll hug your face and implant seeds? Something like
They
that?
are it the notes that are listed in the hard drive and in the logbook seem to indicate that they react the same way that they expect to like a wild animal would,
Yeah.
that they have violent tendencies when provoked, that their body is made of an aramid fiber weave. So their skin, their outer layer of their skin is noted as bulletproof and flameproof. Its carapace is very resilient. However, there is notes that there is one weakness, and that is to hydrofluoric acid.
You read my mind. Didn't I just find a bottle of that in the med kit?
You did.
Yeah,
What a coincidence.
yes, yes, I remember having done so. Interesting. All right, very good. I know that hydro something acid is not gonna stay like a poison on my vibro machete, my vibe machete. So
No,
it would be useless to coat my machete right now because it would just lose its potency.
no, it
Uh,
would probably melt through the machete.
it would, yeah. So that doesn't sound like a good idea.
It breaks down calcified or hard materials.
Yes. All
In
right.
fact,
I searched the research lab slash medbay for syringes. Syringes.
so looking up on Wikipedia, which is well known for intelligence,
Yes.
hydrofluoric acid is a highly corrosive and dangerous chemical, a solution hydrogen fluoride in water used in various industrial and research applications, poses severe health risks due to the ability to penetrate skin and cause massive tissue damage.
Makes
Damage. So
makes perfect sense. I know that glass is chemically neutral, and well stocked medbay surely has glass syringes. I should hope.
they do. They
Yes.
do.
Guess what?
You
Yes.
you would be theoretically able to just pick it up in syringes. I do let you know that if this touches a human body, it will be just as dangerous as it is to the animals. But
It makes
make sure you don't
sense.
spill
It makes sense. It makes sense. So here's the thing about acid. We have a bottle of it, and
it. Mm-hmm.
I'm not just gonna dump it on a guy like a prank. Like I'm gonna
All right.
be savvy about it. So being savvy means opening the top with gloves and with glasses, and then very gently inserting a glass syringe, sucking up one syringe worth, put it aside, sucking a second. This is gonna be a much better weapon because, as anybody who has ever played with syringes, they are basically squirt guns, right? I have made
They
myself
are.
a squirt gun of hydro something acid. So, as
Yep.
many syringes as I find, I feel to have as many shots as possible until I run out of either syringes or acid. You tell me
There
how.
are no syringes on this observation side. You would have to get through the door.
Let's get through the door then. So,
All right.
let's get through the door. So I have used my portable computer terminal to open 3 electronic doors so far.
It
So
shouldn't be that big a deal.
this shall be the fourth. I tell everybody to just give me a little space. And by the way, while I'm working with my computer, beep boop beep boop beep, I tell them verbally what I learned from Dr. Edem's research, um, including or particular attention to the fact that only acid hurts the creature. They are impervious to bullets. Uh, they'll probably have a hard time against the Vibe Shetty, but that's why we need those syringes. And I tell
That's
them
fine.
that once we get through the other side and get those glass syringes, we're gonna have squirt guns to defend ourselves with. So while I'm telling them all this, I'm working on the door.
All right. We'll just need you to make a skill roll for your.
Okay.
This is a hacking roll.
Yes. So it's intellect, right?
I believe so.
So I have
Go
to roll on their 53 for Draco.
uh, so you roll a intellect. Yeah, I think that's how. Let me just make a stat check or save. You have to have relevant skill, which you have. You add your skill bonus to the stat or save, and so your stat would be intellect, I believe, for
Okay.
hack. And since if you have hacking, you'd be expert, which means a plus 15 to the roll.
Okay. Excellent. So here goes. No, minus 15, right? I want to roll under.
It's curious why it says it like that.
Uh. I,
Let me double check. Oh no no. See, okay. So what's your intellect on
50,
this character
50,
that has hacking?
53. It probably
53,
53. So surely
and
go ahead.
you 53, and then you add the 15 to that 53, which
Ah,
would give you what 68
got it. So I have to roll under
underneath
68.
the 60.
All right. Well,
Yes.
here goes the roll. Here goes the roll. drum roll. 31. You see it in Discord, right?
Very
Yeah.
And it just popped up, but vanished. Does it keep? Is it in the chat thing? Let me
Yeah,
check.
it's in the. I'll ping you. I'll ping Dapper.
No,
Dapper.
I just gotta. I have to. Oh, mm.
Hello.
So I saw a screen that came up and said it. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's my 31. Doors are
All
no
right.
match for Draco.
Toys are no match for Draco. Okay, yeah, the general chat. All right. All right. So you are able to again get the system back up and running enough for it to read the card reader. You're able to go in and convince the door that it has read a card, and the
Yes.
door slides open.
Yes, excellent.
Inside of this room, there's various objects after kind of perusing about. There is a Litkovich Metapod 1080A, which is broken. But would you? Who's your medical officer?
Do I have a medical office? I have a Teamster. I have an android, a
Oh,
scientist, and a
your
tough
scientist
guy.
is not medical. Okay, and
Yeah,
your android's not medical either.
I know. I think she was
Okay,
built. Yeah, okay.
you're not quite sure what it would do, but it's a medical device that is used in the healing process. However, it looks like it is inoperable currently. There's
Interesting.
also something that you are able to figure out is a Sato T3 bioprinter, which you have encountered, your characters have encountered in the past, is able to print synthetic biological material. So it's used for printing biological parts.
Okay, so we can have a spare kidney. That's good.
It
Yeah,
would also take some. It would require some resources for it to run, and it looks like it is inoperable as well because everything here has just been smashed,
I see. I see.
except for at the back, you do find a lead container that has more hydrofluoric acid in it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so I tell my team to be very, very quiet. We're hunting wabbits. Do not alert the creatures in the tubes. And as quietly as possible, as gently as possible, fill as many syringes as we can until we run out of syringes or we run out of acid.
I'll say you find a strewn onto the floor, knocked out of one of the tables that was upright. You
Yeah,
before you find a pack of 10 syringes.
beautiful. So I'm going to break them into four people. I'm going to get three, and everybody else gets two. No, I'm gonna get. How do you divide 10 into four people? I am so illiterate in math.
Ten
Uh,
into four people. Everybody would get two,
Now everybody gets.
and
Yeah, everybody gets two,
everybody would get two, and then there'd be two left over that you could
and
redistribute.
two
So
people
there'd
get
be
three. So I'm gonna have three. Robert, which is the tough guy, is gonna have three. The android is gonna have two, and the teamster is gonna have two.
all right.
So now we all have syringes. We have squirt guns. So we have syringes 10 with acid in them. All right. Do we still have acid left over after we fill the 10 syringes?
You have what? Two of the because you found the previous vial of the hydrofluoric acid, and now this lead container of hydrochloric acid
That's right.
or hydrofluoric acid.
That's right.
Um, I'm going to say there is what you're putting them into syringes.
Yeah, we want to fill all 10 syringes. Do I still have acid left over?
I'll give you that you have enough acid to put one of the fluoridic acid containers into all 10, and so you'd have all 10 syringes
Yeah.
filled and
Yes.
an additional hydrofluoric acid
For a
container.
second round. That's beautiful. Okay.
Yep.
One more bottle of acid for a refill.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, well, this has been a minor success. I look around the room for possible exits. I know one is the one we came in.
Just the one. Well, I believe there is. Yeah, there is another exit, but there is the door you came in through, and at the back wall there are four standing tubes, which have. When you get closer to them, you realize that these are larval. They're knowing how animal develop and how like larval creatures
Yes.
look when they emerge from their chrysalises or eggs or whatever.
Yes.
These are not full crabs. These are
Yes.
more like kind of shrimp, crabby things,
Yeah.
almost like spiders that are curled in on themselves.
I instantly lose my appetite and turn away from them.
They
And
are
yeah.
not fully grown, and as you get closer, you realize they're not actually moving. There's just creatures floating and suspended in these things. But next to it is an upturned surgical bed, and right next the upturned surgical bed is this meter-long black crab-like limb. It's a long pincher, not the big pinchers like the big crabs have, but the
Yeah.
smaller pincher crabs, the ones with the long thin arms. So it's what 3 feet, 3 feet black,
Yeah.
very hard shell.
So I make a mental note to never eat seafood again. And I try to briefly glance where the rest of the body is.
Nope. It just looks like it was on the table and they were experimenting on an arm, or got ripped off when the table got overturned. You can't quite be sure.
Interesting. All right, I am mentally prepared as best I can to find a dead body. Is there a dead body of a human being somewhere?
You don't see a dead body.
Ah, I got lucky this time. All right, excellent, excellent.
However,
Yes.
behind the upturned bed, you see a vent in the bottom of the wall.
Okay, big enough for a
Hey.
human to crawl through.
Yeah. It's an air vent on. It's one of the floor air vents.
Interesting. All right. Surely there's got to be another door, because we only got to the med bay through the vents, and the med bay has this glass wall into the other side that the tubes. Surely there's got to be some way for the scientists to get in there. They didn't come through the vents.
No, they
Yeah.
didn't come through the vent.
Yeah, there has to be a door somewhere. I keep looking for it.
Where are you trying to get into?
I'm just trying to continue. I don't want to go back.
Well, there's if you so you climb. Let me put this straightforward. You climbed into the pantry,
Yeah.
up through ventilation
Yeah.
into the medical bay,
Yeah.
and now looking to climb through another ventilation to another part of the building. But the the pantry led back into the main dining room,
Yes.
which led to a hallway
Yes.
which you did not go into.
And I don't intend to yet. Yet.
Okay.
So surely there is a so scientists who got to those computers in the med bay, they got there somehow. They walked there from some door somewhere.
Yeah, there's a door in here in the not in the surgical room, but in the observation room. There was a door leading back into that hallway back to the
Ah,
main
that's how they got
area.
there. That's all right. Is that the only door? Is that the only door that I haven't been through?
So this section, which is the observation and the surgical room,
Yeah.
the observation room has a door back out into the main hallway,
Yes.
and the vent up that goes over to the freezer.
Yes.
And then the surgical room has a vent in the floor which leads backwards to you're not quite sure where.
Yeah, close. You almost. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I have a choice between the door that goes in the hallway, haven't explored, or the lower bend that also don't know where it goes, and I also haven't explored. So I'm going to choose the door to the hallway for now, and
Okay.
I'm going to very carefully just break it open so I can peek a little bit. Um, yeah, I see it. It's the one to the left of the number 8.
Yep.
So I'm going to
So
open that door very briefly. Yep.
It's a dark hallway. There's an emergency light in the back that's kind of flickering red occasionally. It looks rather uneventful, very unused, because it looks like most of the action or whatever went on happened in the main dining hall. And this is just kind of a quiet little. Um, you remember these like temporary structures that are popped down and hooked up together? So it's
Yes.
a very basic plain hallway. There's like a couple posters on the wall, but nothing that looks lived in.
Interesting. So nothing much happening in this hallway. Show me the map one more time, Sean. Yeah. All right. Hold it still for 1 second. Got it. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
I just pasted it in the chat. There is our map, right? And I have
there
a
we go.
reference. So okay, very good. So I am roughly outside of number 8 to the left, and I see a hallway in front of me, and I know that the
Yeah, it's
left,
the hallway from this door. The hallway to the door to the left leads back into the
the mess hall,
main mess hall,
but
and
more
that
ways than
was the
one.
one that was not. That was the one that was not barricaded.
Yes.
The door to the right, if you continue forward a little bit, is the command center.
Okay. Do I or maybe Robert have any idea of where the power is? Is there a generator? Is there an electrical room? Something that will bring the lights back on? Do we know where it might be?
So, knowing the map and knowing that, because you have enough about the map and the structure of what these buildings are very much by the book. Like these are
Yeah.
the kind of things that are dropped on planets all over the galaxy.
Right.
So, other than the modular system and changing out rooms, what you can see on the map, you have. I'll go through the rooms one by one. You had the mess hall, which was the main area. The
Yes.
power was not there.
Yes.
The mess hall led into a pantry and led into a medical bay. On the other wing of the building, though, is number 6, which was the crew habitat. I don't think we've been to the crew habitat yet, have we?
We have not. I have avoided that because there were noises coming from it. Yes.
That's the room where all their personal things were.
Yeah, that's number 6 in the map, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't think that, especially given everybody's going to probably be sleeping in the barracks
yeah.
in the crew habitat. Probably not the place to put a loud ass power system.
Yeah,
So
fair point. Fair point.
that leaves two places.
Yes.
That is number 7, which seems to be listed as the armory, and number 10, which seems to be listed as the garage or slash utilities.
Very well. So I confer with my team where should we go. And the teamster wants to go to the command room, but I said we're just gonna find dead computers, dead man. I might pull
No,
a
no,
hard drive.
you don't know what you'll find.
I know, but that's what the scientist presumes in his wrong-headedness, as all scientists are prone to do. And Alexis just says she'll go wherever Robert goes. And Robert says, "Well, Draco, you're the brains of the operation." So, and I said, "Well, clearly these people didn't have a first shot at fighting these beasts. We should get ourselves some weapons. So let's move to the armory first, and then we'll head back to the command room. Is that cool, Michael?" And Michael says, "Whatever, boss. You're the boss." So then we very slowly start making our way through the hallway, very gently, very quietly,
Okay.
listening for
So
sounds. Yeah.
passing the two doors, there's a turn left at the end.
Yes.
Uh, on the right, there is the door that reads garage utilities.
Yes. I see that.
Let me double check to see if it says anything about its door, because I believe the door has a one of the higher grade locks on it. So the door into the garage is very similar to the front door that you came in.
Got
It
it.
has to be hacked and bypassed. And as you continue towards it and get closer, you can hear the slow, dull thumping of something immediately in the garage. Something
Oh,
on the other side of the door area. It doesn't sound like it's hitting the door, but something is hitting something in there. And then there's
okay.
a thump,
Is the
thump.
thumping perfectly rhythmical, which would lead me to think it's a machine, or is it more chaotic, which would lead me to think it's an animal scratching?
Using your imaginations and your personal experience, your
Yes,
characters, their various different backgrounds,
yes,
come to a sort of similar conclusion, all four of them,
yes.
of something living slowly hitting something.
Yeah, it's a living creature. All right, we don't want to go through that door until we
It's
have.
erratic, but it's not like panicked, quick erratic. It's slow, monotonous, like somebody just smacking something against a wall or the floor or something like that.
If it was a human being, it would be making the SOS thing.
No,
Uh,
it's definitely not a
it's not.
communication of that.
It's not Morse code, so I don't want to see whoever is making that noise yet. So we
All right.
ignore the door to our right, and we turn the corner and face the new door to our right, which leads to the room number 7, which I hope is the
Around the
armory.
corner, this hallway has three doors.
Yes,
Immediately after bypassing the door of the garage, almost
yes,
right next to it, a couple feet away, is a door into the armory. And
yes,
then further down the hallway is a door that says barracks, and around that, another corner leads back
yes.
into the mess hall, and that is the door that was barricaded. And down towards the mess hall, you can see a bit of chaos down there. It looks like some of the confusion or whatever went on in the mess hall poured out into the door, into the crew habitat. And so there's stains and there's things knocked about. You don't see any movement. Nothing is active there right now. But ahead of you is the armory.
Got it, got it. So I whisper to my team. I said, I bet whichever monsters killed people in the mess hall probably went into the barracks. That's probably the last place where we want to go, guys. And everybody nods. Come on, let's just get ourselves some weapons. And we try to open the armory door.
All right, you get up close to the armory, and as your lights dance upon it, you realize it's already open. The armory door had one of those industrial blast doors that's
Yes,
used in like big situations for protecting against danger and explosives, or used on spaceships against space. uh, it has been ripped off. The blast door was ripped out of the frame and is in the floor like a very poor floor mat. It is kind of bent and rugged and ripped off and just discarded. And there's a gaping hole into what is a metal cage lined with lockers.
metal cage. All right, the door that was ripped out of its hinges. Does it have claw marks? Does it have acid marks, or does it have scorch marks? Depending on the answer, it was taken down by an animal or by a human.
As you're looking at it, it looks it you don't see direct claw marks like you saw earlier on the locker.
Yeah.
However, there's a pinch at the sides, like something dug claws in and tore the door out.
Oh, Jesus. All right, I keep that detail to myself. Unfortunately, Alexis, who has the lowest intelligence, opens her mouth and says, I wonder what happened to this door. And Draco quickly replies and says, well, sometimes they're badly built and they fall easily. Don't worry about it. And and she's so dumb that she buys it. And Mike knows better than that, but he keeps his mouth shut. And Robert is not sure if I'm lying or not because he would get very offended that I lied to his girlfriend. So we just walk in very carefully into the armory. We see a cage that you said is a metal cage. I'm imagining
So
bars.
it's listed as a rugged interior metal cage lined with lockers.
Oh,
So
that's
the
what the
entire
armory is. I got it.
yeah,
Got it. Okay, well, Once we are sure there are no other living beings there, very carefully we start opening the lockers. We're looking for weapons.
As you move in and your lights dance upon this dark inner room, you realize that in the middle of the floor is a giant pile of melted pieces of metal. It looks like all the stock armory, the weapons, and the various things that were in the lockers have been pulled out into the center and hit with something that metal melted and fused all of the weapons into a massive pile.
Fuck. That's probably what the characters say as well, right? And I think everybody realizes this.
As
Fuck.
you look at the doors hanging open on the lockers, you realize every single locker has been emptied and all armory has been poured into the middle and melted and bonded together in just a mass of twisted metal.
And this boggles the mind because melting steel is no easy feat, as any conspiracy theorist will tell you. So, how did they melt so much steel? I have no idea. And do these things spit acid? Draco is wondering. All right, but knowing that people sometimes are unorderly, he starts looking behind the lockers in case somebody forgot some weapon on the floor and he was just there gathering dust and cobwebs. And I just check behind the lockers.
And while we certainly appreciate the inventiveness of
Yeah,
his research into trying to
yeah,
discover if anything is left,
yes.
unfortunately, there is nothing left in this but
Damn.
melted,
They were
destroyed weapons.
orderly in the worst possible way. Uh,
Mm.
damn. All right. Are there any vents, exits, or anything else of note in the armory?
Nope, it's just a small little cul-de-sac that once used to be a situation where you'd have enough weaponry to outfit the entire base to take an army on, but somebody apparently got to it and just smashed it all, and it is now useless.
And they melted all the weapons. Ah, Draco rubs the bridge of his nose and turns to Mike and says, "I guess we're going to the command center." And Mike's like, "Told ya." And we start making our way back through the hallway, past the
Okay.
garage door, slowly making our way to the door for room number 9. And we're gonna see if it's open. If it's not open, we're gonna try to open it.
All right. So you get to the command center, the central nervous system of the base.
Yes.
Uh, this is you would know that from the information you have and the schematics and everything. This was the central communication. This was where headquarters would recommunicate with other bases and contact with the terraforming station, which is farther on from here. And as you get towards it, the door itself is not locked. You are able to open the door and enter into this room. Inside of it, there is a corpse slumped over a main control panel. This looks like it was a one chair at a desk with a set. Like if you've ever been in a security control and it has all the monitors on the wall
Yes.
and it has the computers signed up so you can communicate with various things looking through the monitors.
Yes.
It's one of those kind of desks, and there is a Marine that is slumped over, and in one hand is a revolver, and the back of his head is just open because it looks like he has decided to end his own existence here at the table.
Okay, he took the easy way out. I look for his dog tag. Let's see who the poor guy was.
You look at the dog tag, and this says Second Lieutenant Kaplan.
God damn it, that was the first priority. That was
Your first priority has been found. Congratulations.
God damn it. All right. Well, I use my portable computer to take a few pictures. So I have proof that we found him. Right? We found Second Lieutenant Kaplan.
This
Uh,
this was the man who you're supposed to find and have you explain everything and would have you right as rain.
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, he does not appear to be able to fulfill those parts of his deal.
He found God first, and he even took his brain out. Like I cannot even. All right. Well, I curse slowly. I get his dog tag. I put it in my pocket. Then,
All right, some
uh,
things. So he has a pistol in his hand. It has 5 shot. It has 5 rounds in it.
it has five left. So
A
actually, Robert
revolver.
Robert beats me to it. Like I went for the dog tag. Robert went for the revolver. Smart
One
man.
of those classic spin the revolver
Yeah,
type of situations. So
and he feels pretty good about it. But I remind him. I say, Robert, remember these monsters are bulletproof. Uh,
that's true.
and that sort of puts a downer on his smile. But he keeps the revolver anyway, and he replies back very darkly, and he said, "This guy knew that too." And
So in the other hand, he is carrying a fold out piece of or a piece of paper, which is a chart that I don't know if we went over this
yeah,
picture, but this is the organization chart of all the employees at this station.
yeah, no, I got it, I got it, and I'm gonna reply to that chart as I've been doing to say he dead, right? So let's see, reply, uh, Kaplan
And then
dead.
in the original version of this, trying to run this adventure, this is where you're supposed to get that chart to know who's supposed to be
Yeah.
alive or dead.
Oh, and he was the guy at the very top. God damn it. All right.
Uh-huh. And last to note, as you're looking at his skin, you realize he's got tiny paper cuts. His skin
Yeah.
is broken out similar to the way that you've seen other bodies. Has your characters had any experience with paper cuts on themselves?
Surely, but I have seen the guy in the mess hall had those cuts as well. Yeah.
Right, but none of you have been hit by this yet.
Well, we would know. I hope we would have
Okay.
noticed. Yeah. All right. Damn. Okay. Well, this is bad news, but at least we got our first priority. Now, our second priority was to turn the communications back on, and we happen to be in the communications room.
Well, they see there's a little snag there too as well because the central computer and communication instruments have all been smashed.
Okay. Uh, I don't have mechanical repair. Does anybody have mechanical repair? I'm looking through my. Yes! The Teamster! The Teamster
Yep.
has mechanical repair. So he takes a look and rubs his chin and starts to think about union pay, and Draco is just pressuring him. He's like, Michael, just tell me, man. Just tell it to me straight. Is this fixable? What do you need?
So Michael takes one step in, looks it up and down, and realizes that even if he has the proper tools and equipment to repair it, that this is looking like it's gonna be almost a day of repair. There's so much damage here that he would have to spend 2d10 hours just to even get it up and running again.
All right. So we all look at each other and we ask ourselves, okay, how are we doing on food and water? And I think we had enough for 3 days, right?
Right.
So we all nod to each other and said, well, let's get the second priority done, guys. And everybody sort of nods. And he says, we're going to lock the door and we're going to try to be quiet. And Michael, while you do your work, Robert and I are going to guard the door. And Alexis, just sit in the corner. And said and done. That's gonna be the 10 hours. The next 10 hours, we're gonna try to repair the
You're
communications
just gonna hunker down and sit here for 10
for
hours.
10 hours, and we're gonna, tell stories and like hear him talk about his union tales and
Well, I'm gonna
yeah,
roll it because it is a roll. So
yeah,
let's see what we get here.
yeah.
2d10 hours, 9 hours. So hey,
What?
you're lucky. I rolled a nine. I rolled 2d10 and added them together, and you got 9. So it's nine
Okay.
hours.
Where did you roll that? I don't see it in the chat.
Oh, I used Google because I do. We have a roller.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'll take the nine. Don't take away my nine. But all you have to do is just come to the chat and then type /roll space and then whatever you want to roll, right? So in this case it's 2d10, right? So 2d10, enter, and there you go.
Ah,
There you go. Right? I got 13. I'll take your nine. I'll take the
so
nine.
wait, /roll.
Yeah.
2D. Okay, I see.
Yeah. There you go.
Aha.
Oh, you got four. I'll take it.
Nah, I'm gonna go with the 9, even if it's off screen.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. That's
But
fine.
it's arbitrary because it's a montage. So
Yes,
you
yeah,
all laugh and joke and quietly, nervously do your thing while
yeah,
the one guy is just working away and sweating and has to stop and drink a coffee and
yeah. Well, welcome to
all right.
union jobs. That's how it works for the Teamsters. They're used to it. And Robert and I were in the military school together, remember? So we remember. Hey,
Right.
remember where Sergeant found the spider in his boot? Oh
Tell
yeah,
anecdotes,
yeah,
laugh, cry,
yeah,
all the while under it is this rhythmic thunking of something hitting something
yeah.
over in the garage.
Oh, I just tell to myself that is Mike with his wrench, right?
Mm.
And he occasionally curses like, "God damn connector B cable! They don't make him like they used to," and pulls out another one. And yeah,
All right.
and we help him if we can. Maybe that's why it's only 10 hours. Cause
Yeah.
every now and
Yeah.
then we carry something heavy for him, or like I help him with my computer when he needs a little power.
All right.
Does that reduce our stress level in any way?
I'm gonna give it to you. Let's roll 1d6 here
Here we
in
go.
the
Roll
chart in the chat.
1d6. It's a 5.
Yeah. Everybody's able to reduce their stress by 5 points.
Yes. Well, we are at minimum. Hold on a second. So okay. So stress current minimum 2. All right. So I back to 2. That's good.
Yep.
Robert was already in 2 because he's cool like that. Alexis somehow was at 2 even though her minimum says 3. I don't understand
Oh,
what
and
happened
yeah,
there.
you'll be at your minimum. You'll go down until you hit your minimum.
But she was already below the minimum, so I guess she gained stress. How is her minimum 3?
Yeah, she never should have been below minimum.
Are androids just more stressful?
Mm, good question.
How did she get a 3? Whatever. All right, and Michael goes back to 2. These were 9 hours well spent, sir. Yep.
All right. And the systems look like it will work. It is back up and running.
Yes, second
And
priority met.
as soon as you flip the switch on,
Yes.
you all are blasted by an overwhelming sound coming out of the speakers, which sounds like an ungodly shriek of some crab like creature mating.
Jesus Christ. Michael, turn down the volume for the love of God.
And the moment it hits your ears, all four of you are going to make a sanity roll.
Okay, regardless of whether Michael turns it down. Turn it down, Michael.
Well, it's the moment it hits your ears.
Okay, okay, all
It's
right,
too
okay,
late. It's
okay,
already hit. So we have
okay.
a sanity save. And let's go into how sanity saves work. So,
I think I have to roll
in
under my sanity stat for each character, I think.
order to avoid certain dangers or trauma, you need to roll 1d100 lower than your most relevant save. This call a save. If you roll less than the save, you succeed. Otherwise, you gain 1 stress. A roll of 0 to or 90 to 99 is automatic failure. So you're going to roll sanity. You're going to roll 2d10 for each character, and then check it against their sanity numbers.
Okay, well, Draco will never lose. So his sanity is 55. So
Yeah, 2d10 under a 55.
if I roll 2d10 and the most I get is a 20, and then you add 10 more to it, I'm gonna get a 30. The 30 is gonna be under 55 every time.
No, 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 no. No, let me rephrase that. A D100.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. All right, here we go. So let's start with Draco. This captain goes first.
Yes,
Roll 1d100. I need to be under 55. Go, Draco.
yes.
God damn it. All right, so Draco fails. Uh,
Okay, so let's mark this down. Draco fails.
Draco
Next
fails.
person.
Now it's Robert. Oh, Jesus Christ, Robert. He needs to roll under 19. See, Draco was my
Yeah.
sane guy. 1d100. Draco needs to roll under 19. Sorry, Robert. Here we go, Robert. Under 19. God damn it. He's at 35, so he fails as well. All
There we
right.
go, Robert.
Alexis needs to roll under 15. God damn it. Uh, Android Panicky woman. Roll under 15. Alexis, please stay cool. Nope, nope, nope. He's an 88. And Michael needs to roll under 26. Roll 1d100. Under 26 for Michael. And we have a 75, so he's failure across the board. Every single one
Right.
of them failed.
Okay, so all four people have failed. So here's what happens. The moment the sound enters, the three of the characters are people, one's an android, right?
Yes.
Okay, the moment the sound enters the ears of the three biological characters,
Yes.
you feel something plugging deep into the consciousness of your cellular structure,
Jesus Christ.
and you feel your body shift and sort to rearrange itself in some strange and minute way. And as the three of them like turn the sound off, put their hands to the ears to keep the sound out,
Yes.
surface of their skin starts to crack and break open,
Jesus
and they
Christ.
have little paper cuts all across their skin.
So that's where the cuts came from. Jesus Christ.
And the android does not have skin, so their skin does not shift the same way,
It's latex.
but they can feel their mind being altered imperceptibly at a code level.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. Well, what happens next? Do we regain some sort of
All
agency?
four characters are considered stage 1 infected right now.
That was unavoidable. Okay.
And when the sound hits, there's a sort of like hushed whispers of an wide amount of intermittent voices that you can only assume are the voices of crabs whispering at the back of your mind.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Does it end? Does Michael turn it off eventually, or turn down the volume at least?
One of them just pulls a plug and rips a battery out, and it finally the sound goes off.
Okay. So we all take 5 minutes to try to calm down. And
During that 5 minutes, there's a flashback
yeah,
when you awoke on the ship at the beginning, coming
yeah,
out of cryo,
yeah,
and the person telling you about your mission going, all communications to the planets have been stopped and shut down. We need you to restore those communications.
yeah.
We need you to get down there and get to the main. Basically, it's at the terraforming station. There is a main satellite system that redistributes that signal out, and we need you to get that up and running so we can communicate with the planet. We don't know why it went down. And then there's a flash of all the various equipment you've seen destroyed across the station,
Yeah,
and the realization that the moment you turn this on, a signal went out that infected you by hearing it.
yeah. That much seems clear. And it sounds like Kaplan sabotage his own communications because that's how people get infected. And since he knew he was infected, he just took one from his trusty revolver. And there is four of
Mm-hmm.
us, and there's 5 bullets left, so something to
Mm-hmm.
ponder. Uh, However, we still try our best to survive because that's what humans do. And in this case, it starts by trying to count the F down. And Draco is the scientist, and he says, "Listen, there is no infection that has no cure. Scientists were working on this. They have research. It is not impossible that some of them might have found something resembling a cure. So all we have to do is survive long enough to find the research or the cure itself, and then return to Metamorphosis. That's the name of the ship flying above. Let them know that there is a reason why communications came down. It was done on purpose. And then we'll all get a big payday and we'll be sane and healthy." And he says that not believing his own words, but he says them anyway because he's trying to
Mm-hmm.
convince himself.
Okay.
He's trying to convince himself. So everybody takes a breather. Everybody takes some time. And then Draco turns to Mike and says, "Mike, I want to ask you something a little bit crazy. We're going to turn this back on." And Mike is like, "What the are you want to get infected?" No, 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 Mike. We're going to turn the speakers off, but I want the system back on because I'm going to use my computer to trace where the crab song is coming from. We're going to isolate that crab song. We're going to cut it out, and then we're going to have communications with the metamorphosis. So all you have to do, Michael, is unplug the cable that goes to the speaker. We want to hear no sounds yet. And then I'm
All
going to
right.
hack in and remove the crap from it.
Not even worth a roll. That's pretty easy to do. You're
Yeah.
able to disconnect the speaker system. You're
Yes.
able to get the computer back up and running,
Yes.
and you're able to enter the system and check it out. And in
Yes.
your investigation, you come to the conclusion that this system you could communicate locally
Yes.
with the rest of the rooms in this building,
Yes.
and you can communicate and broadcast outwards to the local area,
Yes.
but that the signal is coming from outside this building. It's You're just receiving the signal.
Got it.
The signal is being put out, believe, from your trajectories and signal stuff from one of the other buildings on this planet, which there's the terraforming station further on.
Yes. Yes. So my assumption from that information is that this external place sending the crab song is where King Crab probably is. And that's a place we probably don't want to go unless we're heavily armed. But the second thing I want to do is I want to block that particular signal. If it was a firewall, and if I'm computer is a port and it has many different ports, and port 8080 is receiving the crap, I want to
Yeah,
shut down port 8080 and leave the other ones open.
you are able to block out the signal so that it's
Yeah.
not being received.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. And once I've done that, I turns toward the dead body of Kaplan and I shake my head and said, "See, you only knew how to. If you only knew how to do computers, Kaplan." And then I go back to the computer and now I start searching. And I know that at some point this base station communicated with the ship out in space, right? And that is probably done through some sort of relay because otherwise I would be in contact with them right now. So surely I can find, just like I found where the crab was coming from, I should be able to find where the relay is and try to connect to it. Let's see if that's possible.
So you do have an issue that you were able to block out the signal coming into the building, and you
Yes.
were able to. The only thing that this system has is the mostly the information needed for running the facility.
Yes.
So most of it is like, the access information of who's coming in the door, who's going out, stuff like that.
Yes.
And it has communications out, but when
Yes.
you send signals out to try to reach the spaceship up above,
Yes.
you do not get any replies. And you believe that there is a form of jammer on the planet that is
Ah,
preventing surface to orbit communication.
got it. All right. All right. Understood. So I turned to Mike and I said, Mike, I was able to block the crap, so you can put the speaker back on. Are you sure, boss? I'm sure. There was just one crab. And in any case, he already infected us, so what's the worst that could happen? And he says, your funeral. So he puts the speaker back on. The crab is blocked, right? System is
Okay.
working. And then I
So
say,
there's no more shriek coming through, and the system's up and running, and you can look at the details, but there's not much.
excellent. And now I say, okay, now all we need to do is find the jammer. There is something jamming communications up to our spaceship, the Metamorphosis. Now, I think that this jammer was put here by the humans. I don't think these crab creatures are smart enough to understand radio wave technology. So, some human must have done it somehow. It could be in this building, it could be in the
Hmm.
areas that we haven't explored, or it could be outside. So, what we need to do is we need to, unfortunately, explore the barracks to see if the jammer is there. And if it's not there, we have to go to the garage. And hopefully, there is a car so that we can patrol the area and find the jammer. As soon as the jammer is gone, we're going to be able to request help from the Metamorphosis and get us all cured. So, everybody thinks that not necessarily that's a good plan. They realize it's the only plan because nobody else can think of anything else to do other than just shrivel and die after we're infected. So they say that they will go with it. Uh,
All right.
but Robert, who is the soldier, says, remember, Draco, we theorize that the monsters are in the barracks. So it's probably going to be a fight. And Draco puts out the syringe and says, hey, what do we have to lose? And we start bravely heading towards the barracks with
Okay.
one syringe in each hand, like revolvers. Yeah,
All right. All right.
until we reach the barracks door and see if it's open
Okay.
or barricaded.
It's barricaded. Ha ha ha
It's
ha.
barricaded.
So you reach the crew habitat, and the
Yes.
all right. So you get towards the door. It says habitat on the front,
Yes.
and in graffiti, someone has spray painted comms off.
That would have been
And
helpful to see at some point in time. Okay.
so you get up to the door, you're able to open it, it's not locked or anything. But inside of this, there's
Yes.
various areas inside the crew habitat.
Yes.
Immediately off to the side, there is a group of showers and toilets.
Yes.
After that, there's a Marine enlisted barracks, which has 12 bunks in a room. Everything is in disarray. And let me rephrase this: everything's in disarray in the people lived here and they didn't keep up or clean after themselves. So there's kind
Okay.
of like blankets on the floor, and
Okay.
there's dirty posters on the wall, like lewd porno posters, and
Sure.
everything smells like body odor. Um,
Racist only. Yeah.
there's various people's personal items. People lived in this room.
I see.
There's beyond that, there is an officer barracks which has 5 bunks, a desk, and a duty roster. This much cleaner facility. These people look like they wake up and polish their shoes every morning.
They're officers.
So it
Yeah.
Yep. So the officers' desk and barracks and beds. and then behind that there was Kaplan's quarters. It's very clean, very tidy. And inside of Kaplan's quarter, there's a photograph of him with his partner and small children, and a planetary survey on the desk. And then past that is a research team barracks,
Yes.
which has 5 bunks.
Yes.
And then beyond that is Dr. Edom's quarters, which has weather charts on the wall, the storm system that's incoming.
Oh, of course. Of course, there is a
As
storm
you're looking
system.
at it, you realize, yeah, that you're like, we're maybe a day out from a large storm that's about to hit.
Of course. Very good. Very good. Okay, well, Kaplan, who was the top guy in his office, we search around for maps specifically. We want to find two things in their maps: a generator for power, B, where the potential location of a jammer.
One moment.
Yeah,
All right. So which room are you searching through first?
this is Kaplan.
All right. So let's go to Kaplan's office. So
Yeah,
there's a picture of Kaplan and his family. There's a
yes.
planetary survey, which is just boring stuff. And he has a desk. Inside the desk, there is a drawer. It's a cam locked. I don't know what cam locked means, but let's see if
Uh,
cam
Cam.
locks, L-shaped mechanisms. So yeah, it's a L-shaped lock on the door that is inserted to keep you from getting into a desk.
Okay. Is it something that I can open with my trusty laptop?
No, this is a more physical. You'd need
This
like a
is
crowbar or something like a soldering or
well.
torch cutter.
It so happens we have a crowbar. Let me see who has the crowbar. Uh,
Character got enough strength.
Michael has a spanner, and we also have a lot of bichetis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the strongest character?
Strength. Michael is 48. Uh, Michael. Michael is the strongest character, and he has a spanner.
All right, you can try to wedge it open if you like.
Yeah, yeah, I would like. I would like, yeah. And he, hopefully, he knows what he's doing, right? Like, he's mechanic, he has mechanical repair.
Right.
He knows not to smash whatever the contents are, just the lock. So,
Does he have any skills that are relevant to shimming open a desk?
he has jury rigging. I don't know if that matters. Uh, he has
Never
industrial
mind. Let me look at
equipment.
this.
Yeah,
Let me look at this skill list just to be sure. But I think
yeah.
jury rigging might work. Mm, what does he have higher than that? Mechanical repair.
He has mechanical repair, and he doesn't have any master skills. He didn't go to college.
All right, and his. No, that's intellect. Is it? No one's. Good question. How you make rolls because it doesn't say specifically what skills you have to have for each of these, or it doesn't say what stat you have to use for each of these skills. Just a skill roll. Let me look at his
Yeah.
character again. All right, so I think we're gonna be class skills. What's his class?
He's a teamster. Teamster.
The teamster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. Make a strength roll
Woohoo.
and add 10 to your strength for having jury rigging,
Okay. So
and then try to roll under that
he has a strength of 48 plus 10 is 58. So let's roll under 58.
under 58
Go ahead, Marco. Michael.
mark.
Do it. Do it. God damn it. It's a 71.
Really?
71.
All right. He botches it and it bends, and now it's kind of you can't get it off, and it's bent so that even if you had the key, you wouldn't be able to open it.
So okay,
You'd need to find a proper cutting to cut through the metal.
at that moment, Alexis says, "Wouldn't Kaplan have the key somewhere in his body?" And
I
we
probably would have. I
and
don't
we
think you checked.
and we all look at each other like, "Fuck, we didn't check," and now the lock is broken. And then Robert steps forward and says, let me handle this. Vroom, and he turns on the machete, and he starts cutting through the lock.
All right, all right.
Yeah,
Then give me what roll is that? Is that the same roll again? Give me a combat.
yeah. He's good at combat. He's 44.
All right.
He has military training, and for some, no, hold on. I'm looking at Draco. Sorry. Robert has strength of 40, and he has military training too. He has athletics. Does that help with strength?
Given military training, I'll go with.
All right. So okay, so then he's 40 plus 10, 50. So all right, Robert, roll under 50. Here we go. 1d100. This is a 50-50 chance, Robert. Finally, yes, it's an 8.
All right, you hack and pry, and finally are able to cut through the metal enough for because at this point, the lock is too thick to cut through
Yeah,
with the machete. So you're essentially hacking at the drawer itself,
that
and
worked.
you're able to bend it enough so that you can rip off the lock. It's entirely just comes right off, and you're able
Yes.
to pry open a hole to get it ledged open, and the drawer comes forward,
And
and actually comes forward too hard, and the whole drawer falls onto the floor.
so once it clanks on the floor, Robert looks at Michael and says, "Improvise, adapt, survive." And Alexis start pouring through whatever poured out of the floor, out of the drawer.
All right, there's a revolver, another one.
Okay,
There's 12 more bullets.
okay.
It
So,
looks like it is almost the exact same one you have, but it has a snub barrel instead of a longer barrel.
all right. So Robert says to his girlfriend, "You keep that, babe." I says, "Sure, honey." And she puts it in her belt. Just make sure the safety is on. And she makes sure the safety is on, and then she puts it in her belt. All right.
Okay.
What else is in there?
All right. So in here you also have Hinton's personal locator tracker.
Ah, that's
It
useful.
is a personal locator tracker. It is set. It has his name on it, and it is Dr. Hinton's locator to find him if you can't find him. That is the synthetic officer
What is it?
who.
Is it like a beeper? Does it have a screen on it? Is it like a radar? Like what's physically?
Yeah, it has like a little screen on it, and it shows you kind of a like a sonar over the planet. It creates I would say we're futuristic enough to say it creates like a little primitive 3D map
Yes.
hologram above it that
Yes.
shows you where on the planet's surface his signal comes from.
Oh, that's beautiful. Draco grabs that immediately, and before he turns it on, is there anything else that I was said?
That's it.
All right. Uh,
It was some various like supplies for the desk. He had
yeah, just
like
pens and
notepads,
notebooks.
pencils, clip what's it called, paper clips.
All right. So, Draco's gonna turn the tracker on. Let's see where the android is.
Should be like, and the signal hits you. I'll roll a sanity. No.
Yeah.
Um. So from your map that you have from when you arrived to get
Yes.
down here to the station, the original place that you landed was the landing zone. From the landing zone, there's a pathway that's about a very tiny, like a minute or two walk up to this base. You're currently at Greta Base.
Yes.
And from Greta Base, there is about a 20-minute uh, drive in an armored vehicle across your trail to the Heron station. Heron station's a transforming station. It's where the tower is, it's where the signal's coming from. And further past Heron station, there is a set of mountains up in the reaches beyond the station that was a point of interest noted in certain maps. They
Okay.
believe that there was some alien artifact that was found in the mountains, and that whatever that they discovered up there is where they got these alien creatures from. So these carcinids had originated from the mountains and come on down to Herod Station, and then they took them from Herod Station over here to the base where they did research on them.
Got it. Got it. Is
And
Herod Base the terraforming site? Is that where the terraformer machine is?
yes, that's what's turning the entire reason the place has jungle. The entire reason there's like small animal life is because of the terraforming station, which
Well,
is Heron Station.
that was my third priority to turn that back on.
Hmm.
Uh good. Good. So I turned to P4.
And
Yeah.
when you turn the signal on and you look at the map and then reference that on the information you had that you had brought with you from your command,
Yeah.
you believe that Hinton's signal is somewhere in the mountains where the aliens were discovered.
Oh, that's where the android is. That's a bad place to be. Uh all right. I'm 90% sure the answer is no, but this is a one-way communication, right? It's not two ways. There is no way that he can
Yeah,
hear me.
it's
Yeah.
it just picks up a signal and then you use the
Yeah.
map to try to get close to the signal.
Yeah, okay. There's no way to talk to the guy. All right, there's no cell phones in the future. Okay.
There's a cell phone, but this is like something you would put like to track a pet.
Yeah. No, I got it. I wish there was a way to just freaking call him, like, uh, but there is probably no signal in this planet because everything's turned off.
Probably,
And there's a
but also
jammer.
like just imagine picking it. Where does he have a cell phone? Yeah, just call
Yeah,
him.
yeah, right. That would be nice, but there's a jammer, so probably can't do it. All right. Well, we got good information. So if you remember, we came to Kaplan's office because we wanted to find out where the jammer could be, probably Herald
Mhm.
Station. We now know where the terraformer is, Herald Station, and we want to find. Was that our priorities? Finding the android. Let me see.
The
Uh,
priorities that were listed at the beginning of this mission were the following.
I made a note of them.
The job. So priority number one was finding Kaplan so he could help you figure the situation out. You found him, he's not able to figure out the situation. Your
Yeah,
second priority was to reestablish the satellite communications
yeah,
up into orbit with the terraformer and get the terraformer back onto the line.
yeah.
So they need you to figure out how to connect what's coming out from the tower at Heron Station up to the satellite in orbit.
Yeah,
And
I found my
right now
notes.
right now you know that the tower is putting out the shriek, which is probably not something you want to send up to the satellite.
That is correct, and we blocked that crap signal. And by the way, I found from my notes that we also, for bonus, we had to get either Eden or Hinton. So
Mm-hmm.
so we know where Hinton is. We know where we're going.
Yep.
But before we head there, I want to examine Eden's quarters.
Okay. And yeah, it's please if you can get Edom back, that's great. If you can't get Edom, then find the robot, and all you
Yeah,
have to do is get the robot's core. We don't care about the robot. We just need the data
yeah,
core he has inside of him.
yeah. That's what you get for being a robot. Yeah, understood.
Corporate futures.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Let's see. Edom's quarters. So you go back into Edom's corners.
Yes.
There's weather charts on the wall. There's a birthday card on the desk to Olson, unopened, and that's it. He just has basic stuff. He has his clothes, which are mostly like formal wear or informal wear, and lab coats. And then he has just a clean, tidy bed and not much personal effects in his desk. Just a birthday card
It was devoted.
to the
Yeah.
the dead body birthday boy in the mess hall. That's
Oh,
all
that was
giant.
awesome.
It was a
Uh,
giant.
that's unfortunate, but I have morbid curiosity. So without anyone looking, I just snag the birthday card and open it and read it.
Birthday card says, "Thanks for always listening. Hopefully they'll let me leave after this one."
How sad. All right, I put it back on the desk. That was unfortunate. And we didn't find a locator. We didn't find a lock safe box or desk or notes. Everything
No.
of import we already got from the med bay. So I don't think
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna find Edom here. I'm gonna guess he's probably at uh, the station, Harrod Station. Okay. Before we leave, Michael, without even asking me, is doing a cursory look of things he can loot because even though he is infected and facing death, he still wants to be rich. And he's just looking around for anything of value that he can snag.
All right. You go through the research team barracks.
Yeah.
Officer Ba Newman had a BZT gaming console. Or sorry, it's a Ba Newman BZT gaming console. Basically, just like an Xbox.
Okay.
Um, he has a potted plant of marijuana in the corner.
Okay.
A copy of The Auctioneer by Joan Sampson,
Uh,
and an anime body pillow
that's a sad life, but it's what you can expect in a faraway planet. Yeah.
from the anime Meido Taisen no Densetsu.
That's unfortunate.
That's what it says here. It says
Yes.
anime body pillow.
It's sad. Okay, well, he throws the console in the bag because, it might be worth a few dollars. And everything else doesn't feel like he's sell able, right? Particularly the pillow. So if
All
that's
right.
all the loot he finds, then
There's also the Marine Officer Barracks, which just has
yes,
desks, bunks, and a duty roster. And when you look at the duty roster, it just lists Dr. Edom and Hinton. And
yeah,
then the Marine Enlisted Barracks have 12 bunks with the lewd posters on the wall. You search through the pile.
yes, yes, we do. Yes, we search.
All
Yes.
right. You find two grenades.
What's a grade?
Sorry,
Oh, grenade.
frag grenades.
Oh, that's good. Because
Yep.
the research didn't say anything about being grenade resistant. I mean, bullet resistant is one thing, but grenade. So I give both of them to Robert. He's our arms expert. He knows what to do with
Well,
them.
one is in a drawer. One is tucked in a shoe. And then you find in one of the bunks, one of the dresser things by the bunk bed is a butterfly knife.
Ah, good. Well, Draco takes that because he needs something better than a screwdriver. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Two grenades,
frag
one
grenades.
butterfly knife, one PlayStation 27. All right, excellent.
You find a porno mag titled Jump Humpers, which is themed towards galactic space jumps
Yeah,
porn.
that sounds interesting. I'd watch
So
it.
like
Yeah,
sexy ladies in front of like engineer mass jump engines or whatever.
yeah. So Robert looks at it and he's about to grab it, but then Mike picks it up first and pats him in the back and says, "Trust me, it's better with me." Yeah.
um Scattered among all the various disarray is also 8 separate packs of cigarettes under brand Richter Blue.
Yeah, we grab those. I mean, some say they're good for stress. I mean, horrible for cancer, but cancer is the last thing that's gonna kill us here. Packs
You
of
find a
cigs.
small journal.
Oh, oh, from one of the Marines.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Draco grabs that. Yeah, that's interesting. He skips the beginning about what he wants and his mom and pa, and he just goes to the last few entries to see how things
Uh,
went to hell.
it's got quite a few entries in it, and you kind of browse through them, and it looks like it's written by HM3 Brookman, which was one of the office. Let me see if I can find him on the officer chart here. So Officer Brookman, which was platoon medic from Siege Squad, and it looks like it details a long and very steamy relationship, intimate, steamy relationship
yeah.
with Corporal Ivanovic.
Oh, well, that was his boss. That should
Yeah,
be.
well, it's the APC driver of Siege Squad. So
See,
the
he
two of them
was
work together on and off the field, so to
he
speak.
was driver in more ways than one.
Yes.
That should be reported to HR. That is not permitted.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. From
Yeah,
the porno mags and stuff you see here,
yeah,
you don't think HR is really that concerned.
yeah. Fair enough. Understood. Well, that's
Although
sad. Yeah,
they should have at least filled out paperwork.
yeah. At the very least, permission to entry. All right. So he he leaves the journal where it is, and it's 4H27. And they start walking back to the hallway, and then Draco asks them all a very serious question, and he says, "All right, we could go back the way we came, or we could try to get an armored vehicle in the garage. If we go through the garage, we're gonna have to fight through whatever is making that noise, but we'll get an armored vehicle, and an armored vehicle could help us from whatever else we find on foot on our way to Heron Base."
So you know from the distance that if you tried to take your way to Heron Base on foot, it's going to be like an hour, and you have no idea what you're going to encounter on the road. But
Yeah,
if you take the vehicle, it's like 20 minutes. So you
yeah.
cut it in a third at least, or
And
sorry, 2/3.
and then Alexis says again and says, "Isn't there a storm coming? Don't we want to
Yep.
find that? Don't we want to have a car in case it rains?" And Aaron's like, "Yeah, a car would be nice if there is a storm." So reluctantly, we decide to try to go get the car, and we make
Well,
our way
it's
to.
a from data you've got and knowing the company and stuff. It's an APC, which is one of those armored patrol
Yeah,
carrier or armored personnel carriers. Like the SWAT team shows up with a little
yeah.
carrier and then people pour out of the back.
I remember Aliens too, and that was a level in the video game too.
Yeah,
So
got like 6 wheels and
yeah,
anyways.
a little turret. So we head to the garage door, and we still hear the noise there, right? It's still there.
Yep.
Yep.
You're looking first of all. Um, as you're going, you're kind of like reviewing over the layout of this place, and you realize that there is this door would lead you into the garage. If you go outside, there is a shutter door on the other side of the garage that the vehicle exits from.
Yeah.
And then looking at the data on the blueprints, you realize that vent on the floor in the medical bay
Ah,
crawls through into the garage. So you have
I
three
see.
intake.
So that's where it would go. Interesting. All right. We have radio communication via our little suits, right? That's how we got into the med bay the first time.
Yep.
All
Oh
right.
well, I don't think you haven't probably turned those on, have you?
We turned them on when we got to the first band, and we couldn't hear
Okay.
each other, so we turned them on. Yeah.
You get there's a lot of interference, which is a jammer,
Yeah.
and you pick up sort of pieces of, or well, yeah, you pick up pieces of the signal. So the shriek of those creatures
Oh fuck.
comes through if you listen too
No,
long.
no, no. Turn it back off. God damn it. All right. So that's not gonna work. Uh, okay.
But that's if you use your long range. If you use your short range, you're able to just communicate with each other in the
Oh,
room you're in.
beautiful. All right. In that case, then Draco proposed something and says, Alexis, uh, you're the only one that fits through those vents with less effort. So what I want you to do is, I want you to take the vent, and I want you to reach the garage, but I don't want you to make any noise, and I don't want you to exit into the garage. I just want you to look through the grate,
Alright.
and then tell us with your radio what the hell is in there before we open the door. You got it?
So the rest you're gonna stay by the door, the front,
Yes,
and then have her sneak around the back.
that is correct. And then
All
she's
right,
gonna tell us over the radio what she spies with her little eye.
all right.
S-
Okay. So if you all crowd up at the door and prep yourselves,
Yes,
she ventures on down the hallway
yes,
through into the already open medical procedure room
yes.
and down to the grate, which then lowers into the floor in a crawl space underneath the facility.
That's correct. And Robert's sweating bullets the entire time, but he is just talking to her. You okay, babe? Is everything okay? Every 5 seconds. Is everything okay? And she's an android. She has infinite patience, so she just responds robotically. Yes, everything okay? Yeah, it's fine. Every five
Okay.
seconds. Yeah, until she finally
All
reaches
right.
the base. Yeah.
Let's see. So she is able to get up to it even though the tunnel's underneath, it comes up into the wall.
Yes.
It doesn't come up through the floor. And she's able to get a visual into the garage from the other
Yes.
side of the door. Granted, it doesn't say size on here, but looking at the chart,
It's about as
assume
big as the comms room.
it's a little smaller than the car. Well, okay, so this is the size of like a two-car garage.
Yeah, reasonable.
So
Yeah.
you're on one side, she's on the other, and
Yes.
then I want to say perpendicular, the garage shutters to the outside open.
Yeah,
So,
facing east, right?
so there's the door that you're at, and then up to the other side there's the vent,
The
and
vent.
then there's the door. The major doors to the outside are
Yes,
on the far
yes,
wall.
yes. Got it, got it. East. I'm looking
She
at the map.
she
Makes
can
sense.
see this. She can see this vantage point. Um, let's see. That's outside the garage. So inside the garage is one of the parking spots is the armored personnel carrier,
Okay.
and the other spot that would have been like a second vehicle is a massive dirt hole has been dug into the ground. The whatever covering they had on the floor has been ripped up, and there's dirt that is in down into a hole that something has dug.
As far as she can tell, is the hole the source of the noise?
You're sitting there in the quiet, you hear thump, thump, and from her angle, not only can she hear that there is the thump in the hole, but that there's a splash of liquid down in the hole as well. And yes, something in the hole is thumping.
So she answers all of that, and she says one truck is here, but there's a hole in the ground, and there is something splashing around in there. And then Robert says, "Get out, baby, get out!" And then Rico says, "No, no, wait, 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 wait. Alexis, do you think that you can silently get inside the truck?" And she goes, "I could try." And Robert looks at Draco like, "What's wrong with you, man? There's something in the hole." "Yeah, I know, but she'll be safer inside the truck. And then she can drive the truck around to the entrance, and then we can meet her at the entrance and don't have to deal with whatever's in the hole." And Robert is like grumbling and like, "Trust me, this is the safer thing. This is the way to avoid what's in the hole, Robert."
Okay.
And Robert says, "Be careful, babe. Careful." And then
Oh, no.
Alexis starts to try to silently sneak inside the APC vehicle.
All right. So she's able to get the vent open,
Yes.
and then when she stands up, you look about and you can kind of see from a standing vantage point that someone hand dug a pit into the floor
Yeah.
and has just kind of shuffled the dirt back to the sides.
Yes.
But the rain outside has leaked in, and so the bottom of the hole is has a layer of what rainwater,
Okay.
And in the middle of the rainwater is a Marine wearing the Marine fatigues and just can't see his face. He's turned around. He's just looking down, and he's on his knees. So you only see from basically the waist up because the rest is underwater. And he reaches down with this overhand thump and slowly digs dirt and then flings it to the sides.
Oh, he's alive. He's the first Marine we
Thump,
have seen alive. Yeah. So
digs the
he's
dirt,
so he's
throws
digging
it
a
out.
hole that is partially filled with water.
Yep.
Yeah.
She also notices that one of the power lines in the roof, there's a portion of the roof that was torn,
Yeah.
and one of the power lines is dangling right over the water, but
Yeah.
there's no electricity because the power's off.
I see. I see. So she reports all of that in whispers, right? And Robert says that guy is insane. He's probably infected. And then Draco says, Robert, we're all infected. It's Listen, Alexis, it's cool. Just get into the car, lock the door of the car. Once you are inside the car, you will roll the window just a crack, and you will try to talk to the guy to see if he's still sentient. And
Mm.
Alexis says, okay.
So to the side, there's a tool bench
Yes,
covered with various tools that would fix equipment.
yes,
Next to the tool bench is 6 barrels of fuel,
yes,
and then behind the barrels of fuel is, sorry. She comes out. She's coming out from the vent, so she's come out from the vent behind 6 barrels of fuel,
okay,
and next to her is the generator, which is offline.
okay.
And so this is what you would use to get the power to the station back up. But
If we wanted
past,
to, yeah,
if you wanted to,
yeah,
if you move past the barrels of fuel,
yeah,
there's the tools, and then around the side is the APC.
yes,
So she
understood.
sneaks over to it.
Yes, keeping the APC between her and the hole so that he doesn't see her. She's very sneaky.
All right. So to give you kind of an idea here, uh, this if I remember APC, the way it's, because I don't think it describes the actual vehicle here, but it says that it's just an APC.
Sure,
APCs usually have the 2 doors in the front for the drivers to get in, and
yes,
then has the back hatch where people would load up
that's
to
correct.
personnel.
So she's gonna go through
And
the copilot door, the passenger door on the front.
okay, so she goes up to the passenger door,
Yes,
and sitting between the seats
yes,
is a frazzled, unshaven man with a tinfoil hat on his head.
yes.
He's exceptionally thin and malnourished. His body is covered in paper cuts, and he hugs his legs, rocking back and forth, whispering to himself.
So she reports that back. Hey guys, there's an old man in here, and he's hugging his knees and kind of rocking. And Robert is like, "That's it, get out of there, that's it." And then Draco once more says, "Okay, okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. Alexis, is the door closed? Is the door locked?" So she looks, and is the door locked?
It looks like the doors are unlocked.
There is unlocked. All right. Draco says, "Okay, Alexis, here's what I want you to do. Hide behind the barrels of fuel, then throw a little stone at the window. The old man will get out. He will start searching for you. If he gets close, you'll go back to the vent. But if he gets away, then you get in the car. Got it?"
So didn't say he's old so much as just he has been probably stuck in this thing for like a week.
Yeah. So he's frail too. Yeah.
Well, he looks like he hasn't eaten in a while.
Yeah.
Who knows how long they've been down here, honestly.
Yeah. 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 So as usual, Alexis, okay. And she goes back and she hides behind the barrels of fuel between her and the toolbox, grabs a little pebble, throws it at the door. Let's see if the frail man gets out.
He does not react.
He's not doing anything, says Alexis. Uh, grab a bigger rock. And she throws a bigger rock. Bonk! Does the man react?
Nope.
He's not doing anything. Okay, he's catatonic. All right, get close again and open the door slowly to see if he notices you. If he starts to show signs of aggression, run away immediately. He doesn't look like he's healthy enough to keep chase. You can easily outrun him back to the vent. But if he talks, then patch him in through the mics. So she approaches the passenger side door again and then starts waving and then knocks.
He doesn't respond. He doesn't even look at her.
All right.
She's able to open the door.
She
She
knows the
knocks. He
door.
doesn't respond. Open the door, and he's rocking back and forth, and you hear him saying stuff like, "I want to go back. I want to go back to the hive. I can hear them. They're calling me. I gotta go back to the hive."
So Draco hears that through the microphone of Alexis's com, and inside he thinks, "God damn it, that's us in 3 days. That's what the infection is gonna do to our minds." Fuck. Okay, but he doesn't say any of that. He just says to Alexis, "Hey Alexis, tell him, tell him he can go now. Tell him he can go now. Tell him to join his friend in the hole." And Alexis said, excuse me, sir. My friend Draco says you can go now. You can go to your other friend in the hole."
He So two things happen at once.
Yeah,
The first thing is that he does notice her, and he kind of like looks at her briefly, but just doesn't seem to care,
yeah,
and is like, I gotta go back to the hive." And as he lifts up his hand, she realizes he has a frag grenade in his grip, and
yeah.
the pin has been pulled out, and he's holding the lever down and gripping onto the grenade.
So the moment he lets go of the lever, the grenade goes off.
That's correct.
That's how grenades work. Uh, so Alexis at this point, now she's dumb, but she's not that dumb. She understands what a grenade is. And he says, "Okay, sir, I need you to get out of the vehicle and go into the hole. Your friend is waiting for you there. You can go to the hive through the hole. Just go there. Just go there and hold your grenade. He needs you. You can go there."
He looks at her like very confused, and he
Yeah.
says, the hive's in the mountains, silly."
As you, well, then, it's a bit of a walk, isn't it? You better get started.
Starts arguing with himself quietly.
Yeah.
"I was
And he says, "Sir, there is a storm coming. You're gonna get bad weather if you wait too long. You should probably start walking now."
want to make a. We have a roll for this. I don't think we have a roll for this because this is. Yeah, I don't think any of your stats are going to apply to trying to convince him. So she's
Okay.
just so. What does she look like? I want you to describe her, like
Well,
how she looks.
I've been tap dancing around the fact, but when I first imagined an android, the first thing that I thought of was Blade Runner.
Okay.
Remember the character played by Hannah Daryl? I think that's her name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you know what she was built for, right?
Yeah,
And that
yeah. It was built
explains
for aesthetic looks of the eyes.
that explains why she's so low in intellect and she's so low in combat and she's not great in speed or strength either. Like she is min max in other areas that are not tracked by this sheet. Yeah,
But if you are using as a source Blade Runner,
yeah,
that means she's also indistinguishable from a regular person unless you know what to look for.
yeah, indistinguishable from a designer made person, right? Like they don't build them ugly, right? They build them for a
Right.
purpose. Yeah,
So he, in his confused state, he wouldn't know she's an android.
that is correct. And she has a voice that is pleasing to the ears, and
Mm. She's
so
designed for
yeah.
most creation.
I mean, we have seen how people get bored in faraway planets. There's got to be something better than PlayStation in these places. So
He says, "Is she's as she's trying to talk to him, he reaches over with his other hand and grabs her forearm
yeah,
and looks her in the eyes and says, "They're awakening."
and she said,
And then he kind of goes back into his like confused schizophrenia.
yeah, and then she, oh my god, this is so dangerous. She reaches to his other hand, the one that holding the grenade, right? And then she gently caresses that hand on the top, and he says, "I can, I can hear them too. I can hear them too. Let's go.
She's
Let's go
Wish she
meet
got
them."
better speaker intellect.
She's not good at intellect. She's bad at intellect. They androids built for this purpose don't need to answer math questions precisely. Yeah,
All right. So what's her speed?
but she's very persuasive. Her speed is 37. So the idea is that she's gonna caress the hand, right? And then as he relaxes, she's gonna grab the grenade by the little lever thingy,
Yeah,
right?
that's why I asked
Yeah.
what
And
skills
once
she has and what her speed is.
Yeah, yeah, and once she has the grenade, she's gonna throw it. You know. So
What skills does she got?
she is 37 in speed, but I'm hoping this is a convincing thing. She also has athletics, so hopefully that matters.
I think athletics would probably work.
Yeah.
What athletics is a 10?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean you could add 10 to her speed to use it to try to get the grenade before he be in the time if he releases it. There's a certain period of time before it goes off to
Yeah.
replace
A
again.
grenade has like 3 to 4 seconds. So here's I just want to be up straight. If I fail these dice to grab the grenade, she should still have 4 seconds to freaking duck and close the door.
You can make a body save to jump out of the way,
Okay, I that
but
she has 3 seconds for that, and she would definitely try to close the door because she knows the fuel tanks are right behind her. Right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think the fuel tanks are going to reach from a grenade going off inside the APC
Yeah. Unless the
unless
door
the
is
APC
open.
somehow rolls out.
Yeah, yeah. Or the door is open. So what she would do if she fails this is she would just panic, close the door, and then run away probably behind the toolbox.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
give me a speed roll with athletics added in, so plus 10 to the number and the roll under that, and see if she's fast enough to.
All right. So here we go. Speed 37 plus 10. This needs to be under 47, slightly better than 50-50. The application did not respond. Did you see that in the chat? It says the application did not respond. Are you kidding me? Roll one
That
the
didn't show up on my end,
only you can see
so
this.
check.
All right, try again.
Ah,
76. 76, but that's bad.
hmm. Okay,
That's bad.
so
So she tries to grab the grenade, but he drops it first. I assume that's what happened.
she's caressing his hand and softly talking to him,
Yeah,
and he seems to kind of relax a bit.
yeah.
and then his eyes go wide, and he says out loud, he says, "They're calling me." And he just lets it go, and it tumbles and falls into the back.
Okay, so she shuts the door and tries to jump
Okay.
away.
All right. You can make a body save.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but okay. Oh boy.
Glad you said her in all by yourself to take care of this. It's
Because she only fits through the. So the moment that the grenade thing happened, then Robert absolutely freaked out, and he said, "Draco, open this goddamn door," and Draco started to open the goddamn door
all right.
while all this is happening.
Did you not try to set up or open the door before any of this began?
No, no. The idea was that she was gonna steal the APC and drive around and meet us at the front
Okay.
entrance.
All right.
Yeah,
So here's what we're gonna do. All right. So she's gonna make a body roll,
yeah.
which means that you'll just roll on a D100 underneath her body.
What's her? Oh crap! Her body is 25. But
Ah.
but isn't that for like resistance when she already got hit? Like she's trying to get away. Athletics should matter to getting
So it
away.
says Demar drops a grenade and scream. Like we didn't go that route, but he drops a grenade and it says body save to get out of the APC before the blast.
She was never in the APC.
She was.
She opened the
He,
door and she was just reaching out.
yeah, he
Yeah.
was in between the seats a little back into where the carrier is, so she
All
would have
right.
had to reach
She
across the
had to
first
reach.
seat.
She had to reach across that seat.
Yeah,
Fair
she had to
enough.
get in enough and
All
then
right.
have to pull back, shut the door, and get out of the way.
Okay. All
But
right. It is what it is.
just give me a body save.
All right. So plus athletics to try to get out.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll
Ah.
give that to you.
All right. Here we go. Fuck. No. Nope. Didn't work.
Man, your rolls are just not going tonight,
I
huh?
know. It doesn't matter how much I plan or think. It just doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's okay. It's fine. The
Yeah.
dice sometimes are against us.
Yeah.
Let me resolve a few things here.
Yeah.
So we're going to resolve that in 1 second. While we're resolving that, I want you to have, was it Robert at the door, make a hacking roll to try to get into the door again.
Yeah. That would be Draco.
Draco. So
Yeah.
Draco's going to have to boot up and hack through the door to get you inside the garage from this side.
Yeah. I know this roll. That's intellect plus hacking, which is 15. So
Mm-hmm.
that's under 68. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's the roll that usually done. All right. Let's see if Draco can do something under 68. Yes. Yes. Draco
Hey,
can open the door very quickly. Yes.
sweet, you're back to successfully rolling again.
He's good with doors. That's the only successful thing he's ever done, or anyone, frankly. Yeah.
All right, you're able to hack in rather quickly, and you're able to get the door to release. And as it opens up,
Yes.
you witness from the other side of the room,
Yes.
the side of the APC.
Yes.
Uh, the door does not get shut in time. The
Yes.
door then blows open from a concussive blast of fragments,
Yes.
and our poor lady here takes
Yes.
damage. Takes decent amount of damage.
Absolute cinema. Okay.
Yeah, because the damage on the frag grenade is 3d10.
Okay. I rolled him or you rolled him?
I rolled them already.
All right, go for it.
I'm just looking at the little chart here, so we're going to go over how damage occurs. And this was a very bad scenario. I'm going to give you that.
Yeah.
But it does not mean that it is the end of the story, because the way this game works is that there's layers before we kill our characters. So
Okay.
we rolled the damage, and that damage I rolled already was a 3, a 5, and a 6, which adds up to 14.
Okay.
14 damage hits are wonderful android friend,
Okay.
and so immediately make a combat roll. It's not a well, it's not technically a combat roll. It's a body save, so there's no stress involved. Well,
Yeah.
could add, but I'm not going to do that. So subtract it from her health. What is her health?
I don't know. Oh, it's 19. Crap.
Wow, impressive. She takes 14 damage, and she is down to 5 points. Uh, so the entire arm that had reached in to touch him,
Yeah.
the skin has been flayed off by fragments
Yeah.
and concussive blast, and exposes her robotic underskeleton.
Yeah.
But she is alive.
Jesus Christ.
When you hit zero, you do not die. What happens is that you take a wound, and then there's a set of rolls we go through to determine what the rolls do.
Wow.
Then, once you get more wounds than you can handle, because I believe starting characters only have one wound. If you look on your wounds, you will see a number.
It's empty right now.
Really?
We never
So
rolled
let's
it.
go back to character creation and look at wounds. Roll 10d10 plus 1 for health. You start with your maximum
Oh,
health, you wound
it's
zero
empty.
wounds.
No, sorry. I've been giving you wrong information all this time.
That's right.
Crap. Alexis' health is actually 16. So if
Okay.
she took 14, then she's at 2. And her
She's at
maximum
2.
number of wounds is 2.
Okay. So she's at 2. She's at 14 damage, which means, or she's down to 2 health
Yes.
because she lost 14. So she's down to 2 out of 14.
Jesus.
And if she hits zero, she gains 1 wound. And then it
Yes.
resets to 14 or
16 in her
16.
case. Yeah.
So it would reset to 16. She would get 1 wound. And then the next time she takes 16 damage, she would get 2 wounds.
Yeah.
And then we would roll for death.
Damn. All right. Well, she's not. She's at 0 wounds yet, but very close.
Okay.
Very close. So
So
cinematic moment. So the door opens just in time to see the grenade go off.
the
Alexis is.
door slides open,
Yeah.
and in slow motion, as everybody looks in,
Yeah.
the door blasts, opens, and
Yeah.
she goes flying from the car with her
Yes.
completely just devastated, her arm, and she
Yes.
lands sliding in the dirt all the way up to the pit.
And Robert screams in slow motion, Alexa! And he goes immediately dashing towards her.
And as she slides towards the pit,
But I thought the
her
pit was on the other side,
roll
though. But okay.
no, so there's
Yeah.
the vehicle, and there's where the other vehicle would be is now a pit,
I,
and
I,
she's
I, I
toward.
thought that the vehicle was facing outwards, but it was parked inwards. I understand. Yeah.
Okay, we could do
She
it that way.
because she would approach
That
from
way,
the opposite side from the pit. They didn't want to
well,
go into the pit.
I was just gonna do a cinematic part,
No,
but I
no, no,
mean,
it's
if
fine.
you
I'm
wanna.
good. I'm good. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it.
So she flies back
Yeah.
from the vehicle,
Yeah.
slides across the dirt to the edge of the pit,
Yeah.
fall in,
Yeah.
and dirt crumbles and falls down towards the marine in the center,
Yeah.
and it splashes in the water,
Yeah. Jesus.
and then nothing happens.
Jesus Christ. Robert immediately dashes, almost nearly tackles her, and hugs her and says, "Babe, I promise you, gonna get you a new arm. Gonna spend all my
Yeah,
salary."
she's gonna need a android repair bay of some form or some sort of medical facility that handles androids.
Yeah, which we haven't seen at all yet. And I'm looking at my inventory, and none of us carries anything that fixes androids, unfortunately. However, she is mechanical, and Michael has mechanical repair.
He doesn't.
He doesn't do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he has the equipment to properly repair her skin.
Well,
Now,
I
she is, of course, operable. Her arm still works. If she has any registry of pain, you could say she's probably not feeling very well,
yeah,
but
no, she
she can
wasn't
use her
built for
arm.
pain. She was built for the
There's no
opposite of pain.
there's
Yeah.
there's no rehabilitation in any form. She can use it. It's just a mess. Anybody who sees it's gonna know she's an android
Yeah, yeah.
automatically.
All right. Draco has in his inventory a cybernetic diagnostic scanner, portable, scans
Oh,
androids and cybernetic organisms.
yeah,
Uh, would be
he can
happy
pull that out and immediately see.
and see that she's a two health. Yes, but it's a long shot. That's fine. I'll save it for later. I was going to say cannibalize parts from that machine to repair her arm, but
No,
it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem
no,
right.
she's gonna need basically like a skin graft,
Yeah, but
but the equivalent for an android's.
yeah, 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 and then Robert turns to Draco and says, "Draco, this is all your goddamn fault. You gotta do something." And Draco is like he doesn't know what to say for a moment, and then Robert says, "I don't care what it is. Do something." And Draco finally says, "Okay, okay, listen. In that corner, we can turn the power back on. If we turn the power back on, the medbay is gonna have power again, and there is a organic generator in there. We saw it. We can generate her skin graft in there." And then Robert says, "Do it, fucking do it." And it's okay, okay, calm down, calm down. So then Robert approaches the generator. We weren't gonna turn the power on at all,
Okay.
but now we have to because you remember there is an organic generator machine in the medbay, and that can regenerate her arm or her skin of her arm. So
Yep.
so Draco looks around the generator for anything that screams booby trap, and absent any red flags, he turns it on.
Comes. So you go to turn on the generator, and you realize you have to like restart it, and it looks like it may be low on fuel.
There are six
So
fuel tanks in there, so
you're able to siphon in some fuel. You
Michael
boot down the
helps.
system. You have it run its diagnostics. It's
Yeah,
like a couple minutes. It reboots.
yeah.
You turn it back on, and the hum as the power comes on, and then immediately there's this blasting sound from the other side of the base that
Yeah.
is just the loudest party music you've ever heard. And all three of you need to make or all four of you need to make a fear save with advantage.
Okay, because it was Pitbull or like is that what
Uh, well, all four of you make a fear save, so
Okay.
roll fear and do an advantage so you can do two rolls and take the higher one.
All right. So let's start with Draco. So this is roll to the 100, and I need to hit under 23.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, because Pitbull music is really bad. All right, I got a 13. I got a
Hey, not
13.
bad.
Draco finally does something other than open doors.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, now we're gonna do Robert, who's in a pretty freak out state, so it would sort of make sense if he fails this, but we'll see. Is to the 100. He needs to hit under 51. God damn it, Robert fears nothing.
Not bad. Not
All right,
bad.
well, he's a Marine. It makes sense. He's a soldier. Yeah, he's perfect. He's like, what the hell is that music? But he's not fearful. Now, the android, oh wow. Android needs to roll under 78. Like,
Mm,
scary movies don't work on her at all. So,
yeah.
under 78, yeah, it's like easily. And finally, Michael, he needs to be under 30. That's going to be rough. Let's
Mm,
see if Michael freaks out to the 100. Either of these needs to be under 30. Nope. Michael
oh,
fails both of them.
all right. When you fail a fear save,
Yeah.
you get a point of fear.
Okay.
So his fear goes back up by one.
I don't see that in the little sheet. You maybe you keep track of it. I only
Uh,
see stress.
sorry, stress. Yep, you gain one stress basically.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So it goes up to three. All right. So he
Yep.
starts shouting, "Fuck God!" He starts cursing, and he's like, first the shrieking sound, and now he's fucking pitbull. I hate that guy. And so yeah, he gains one stress from the very loud
Also,
defense.
how many other not the stress rolls, but how many rolls did we fail this game so far?
I, I mean, at least four for the infection, and at least two more
Not
for the
not the
grenade stunt.
infection, the grenade. Okay, so the grenade because you failed the grenade will add a stress to the robot.
Alexis
Sorry,
is
android,
now
not robot.
she's now at four.
Okay.
How did that happen though? We lost five. We should have been at two.
Yeah, all you should be down to minimums. So all you should be, all of them should be at minimums. So she gains one above
Yeah.
minimum,
Okay.
and then he gains one above minimum.
Yeah. Okay.
So the music comes on very loud. It startles all of you. He's the only one who's kind of stressed about it. The rest are like, it's just music.
All right. So I said, "Hey, Mike, listen, listen, Mike. Run to the barracks and turn the shit off. The rest of
Yep.
us will wait for you in the med bay. All right? We're fabricating skin for this girl. Let's go." And then just Mike starts running towards the barracks to turn the music off. And then Draco goes to the med bay because he needs to operate the machine. Alexis goes to the med bay because she needs the skin. And Robert goes to the med bay because he's not going to leave Alexis alone again. So,
All right. We'll look down the list here. What the med base says. So you just
yes.
ignore the marine in the puddle.
Yeah, yeah, basically, I mean, we know that his mind is gone. We'll probably come back to him eventually.
That's okay. All
Yeah.
right, let's see what we have in there. So in the med bay head, well, so the items in the med bay are heavily destroyed and would spend a good 10 hours trying to repair them.
Including the bio something organic fabricator?
So one of them would be a metapod that you basically put yourself in a pod, and if you spend a week in the pod, it restores a wound.
All right. Well, we don't have that
The other
much time. Yeah.
the other one prints synthetic biological material,
Yes,
so
that
it
one.
would be used. Yeah, that one would be used. It's not portable. You'd have to use it here, but it
Yes.
would print enough material to repair her arm.
Yes.
But it'd be like 10 hours. Well, let's roll a d10 here.
All right. You roll it or I roll it?
Roll
All right, go
one
for it. Go for
d10.
it. Go for it. Let's see.
So it'd be about
3.
3 hours. You'd have to spend 3 hours. Basically, I'd say spend one person would be working on it for 3 hours. The rest of you would be prepping and going over your materials and getting ready in the APC for the journey.
Yeah, that's what we would do. So the person. So here's what we're gonna do. Uh, Drake is gonna turn on the machine and set up the 3D printer and like leave it running, and then
Right.
he's gonna tell Robert to just keep an eye on it and call him when they comes if anything seems weird. Alexis is just gonna sit there with her arm like that until the skin is repaired. Meanwhile, Michael and Draco are going to be having a chat with the Splash Soldier.
Okay. So first of all, I'd say the Teamster's going to fix it. He's the one who has the mechanical skills.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
So it's going to be about 3 hours of re-soldering wires, putting
Yes.
machine back together, getting it up operational, make sure it works,
Sounds
and
good.
then the actual printing is like a couple minutes.
Okay,
So
it sounds good.
she doesn't need to sit there with her arm out the whole time. I mean, she can. She's an android, but she
Yeah.
doesn't need to sit there
Okay,
because she'd be sitting there for no reason.
that's helpful. In that case, then all three of them need to be there, and Draco is gonna face the Splash Soldier alone, which is risky. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so the one dude's in there fixing the medical equipment.
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And during that time, the rest of you head back towards the hole. The APC, well, the grenade went off in the APC. You might want to
Yeah.
check on that. But
Will do. Will do. We have 3 whole hours.
yeah, no, there's just a big hole and a silent Marine just digging into the ground.
As I am approaching the marine, I glance inside the APC. Does my scientific technical evaluation tell me that the thing is drivable, or is it completely gone?
Um, this is a scientist, right?
Draco's a scientist.
And he just has a history in machines mechanical.
Yeah.
So you look around the APC, the tires look like they're good. I mean, they've been kind of neglected for a few months here
Yeah.
since the signal went out.
Yeah.
But overall, you don't see anything that indicates that the vehicle won't drive unless you get in and power it on and try to see if it drives.
Yeah. Okay.
There's no real, nothing seems to indicate that it won't just fire up and drive.
So he climbs on, rolls down the window
All right.
to talk to the soldier, but turns it on to see if the thing turns on.
All right. I mean, it's kind of like waking up after a long time, but the thing finally on.
Yep.
And let's see. It looks like controls are all in working order.
Yeah.
The nav is already preset to Heron Terraforming Station.
Ah.
All you have to do is basically just push a button and it drives itself.
Oh wow. That's
And
unexpected good news. All right, excellent. So now that I know that is the thing is functional, turn it back off. Let's save on fuel.
the comms are off, so comms are not on.
That's probably a
But
good
nav
thing.
nav is already set to go to the station. So yeah, you kind of get the opinion that they probably turned it off, realizing what's going out over the airwaves right now.
That is correct. So good to know. So I turn it back off, open the door,
Mhm.
face the soldier guy, and say, "So what's your story, sir? How long ago did you get infected?"
Does not respond. Just quietly digs in the dirt,
Yeah,
pushes it out, throws it to the side.
yeah. I can see that he has the paper cuts too, right? Telltale.
Yep, he does have the paper cuts,
So,
and he does not respond to words.
all right. Evaluating him, how emaciated he is. Like, how long ago did he last eat? Just quick
He
estimate.
doesn't look hard to describe. As he doesn't look. He looks sallow. Like his skin kind of looks pale, like he's been sick.
Yeah.
Um, Sweaty. He's caked in like dried sweat. You know that look you get when you've been just sweating a lot. But he doesn't look malnourished.
Huh. Interesting. That's actually bad because that means that if he was sane enough to eat and it wasn't long enough to make him emaciated, then sentience may also not last too long, and
Hmm,
that's kind of bad news.
that's true.
That's unfortunate. All right, I'm looking through my inventory to see if anything here could be useful, but I don't see anything that would be useful in particular. Back suit.
You do realize as you're standing here looking. So one, there was a tool bench, and the tool bench has various tools on it.
Yeah,
Uh,
once I realize that the guy is not interested in a conversation, then the next thing that I need to do is go explore the tool bench, see what's of use there.
Also, there's a power cord dangling from the wall right next to the water, and now
Yeah.
it's going
Yeah, I could
and
give him
sparking.
a final destination that if I wanted to, but there's no reason to. Yeah. I don't mean to kill the guy by electrocution.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I do go to the toolbox to see what's useful in there.
All right. You go back over. It's a bench. There's various things, like screwdrivers and hammers and stuff, but there's a crowbar. You find a flashlight. There's a
Okay.
patch kit.
Uh,
So
flashlight, a what kit?
crowbar, a flashlight, and a patch kit, which I'm assuming with the APC means that if you get a flat tire, you'll be able to patch it.
Patch kit for the APC. Yeah, I load them up in the APC. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
let's put them in there.
And as well, there's also a nail gun
Okay, that could be useful.
used for construction work or whatever. It has about 1,000 nails.
Yeah.
And a hand welder.
Nails, hand welder. Okay, okay. All right, load them all up. And I'm also going to load inside the APC as many fuel barrels as I can fit.
Okay.
There were 6 fuel barrels, and we probably
Yes,
used one to get the
these
power
are
back on.
from the grade you're looking at. This is for the generators. So yeah, you can load as many of these. The five left that you well no, it wasn't a full six.
Yeah.
Or sorry, it wasn't a full one to get the generator back online. So you basically have like five and a half or so,
All right.
five or
I'm gonna
three
leave.
quarters.
I'm gonna load 4 of them. So 4 fuel barrels, because I have the hunch that we're gonna need to burn something down in the future.
Okay.
All right, so that's a good use of 3 hours time. And since the soldier guy never said anything, then I leave him to his thoughts, and I
Yeah.
go back to the medical bay. Have 3 hours passed, and she has good as new hand.
Yep. There is no sign. He has no sign of responsiveness, so he does not leave the pit.
Yeah.
You don't enter the pit.
No.
The car works fine.
Yeah.
You get all the things moved in, so you've got all your equipment ready, and
Yeah.
then after 3 hours, the medical equipment for synthetic printing finally gets back up online,
Yes.
and then she's able to go back there, and he can use it to print out new skin to graft onto her arm. And
Beautiful.
there's enough salvageable equipment in the medical bay to be able to repair her arm.
Excellent.
It unfortunately is not it it's not the skin she had, so you can just tell that there's this obvious patch of skin,
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
it is
Yeah.
it's like she's got an it's almost like those people who have the color distortion between
Yeah, she wore a weird bathing suit to the beach. You know,
yeah,
it's
it's
yeah.
she's just got a different birthmark on her arm.
Yeah, so she looks at it and goes, huh. And Robert is like, it's beautiful, babe. I just love the way it looks. This is amazing. This is you look so good, babe. I trust me. Just cheering her up. So
Normally an android would go to a facility where they'd then recolor the skin.
yeah, and this is, babe. As soon as we're back on home planet, we're gonna get any color you want, any color you want for your whole body. I promise, baby. I'm gonna make it up to you. And then I was like, okay, whatever you want, Robert. Like she's programmed to say yes to everything, right? So, uh, yeah, there's nothing you can propose to her that she would say no to. And then
Oh,
Draco approaches Robert and pats him in the shoulder and says, "See, all better now." And he goes, "Yeah, I guess, but don't send her into danger again. I swear to you, Draco, don't send her into danger again." And he's like, "Hate to tell you this, but the whole planet is danger. Let's try to get out of this."
Danger Planet.
Yeah. And
All
having
right.
said so, we head back to the APC.
Okay.
Yeah. And once we are all loaded and we close the doors and I show them the stuff that I gather and everyone drops their bags, we all take a deep breath and I push the button that's going to take us to Hero Station. And that's probably going to be the next session, Sean. I need to go to the bathroom.
So
Yeah.
first, I mean, if you need to run to the bathroom, go take care of that. But
Yeah. No, no, no.
first and foremost,
Brain fried. Go ahead. Yeah.
first and foremost, the exterior garage door needs to be opened,
Okay.
and when you open the garage doors, it kind of doesn't want to open at first, and you have to sort of pry it open
Sure. We have a crowbar. We have multiple crowbars.
because The other side of the door has been barricaded. Or
Oh,
sorry. Oh, you know what? I should have seen this previously. I'm a silly Billy. All right. When you go to open the door, you realize that there's the inside of the door has been barricaded,
yeah.
and that people piled like heavy gym equipment. They just took all the heavy objects they could in the facility and just kind of shoved them in front of the garage door to keep it from being opened.
I see.
And when you open the roller up doors, you realize a couple things. One, there's claw marks on the outside of it.
Yeah.
That there's piles of mud right outside the roller doors.
Yeah.
And when you look closely, you see fatigues, and you realize that there is this corpse inside of the. It's basically a corpse, but it's been covered in mud.
Jesus Christ. All right. So clearly, right, the base was attacked. They barricaded all entrances. Even the entrance where I came from was also locked tight. Didn't work out well for them. And I don't hear any noise outside. So whichever were the assailants, they're long gone, at least for now. So we,
This corpse has been bisected, meaning it was just cut right down the middle and is in two halves.
Jesus
And
Christ.
there is in to the side of it, you're able to find dog tags. This is Olson, the birthday boy.
Jesus Christ. That's worst birthday ever. And how did he get there from his birthday party? That's a good question. All right, reply.
It
That's
seems like he ran out the front door and was chased around to the back,
and he was trying to come in, but he was barricaded, and they
and
just
they had barricaded, and he couldn't get in, and he was cut in half and dropped at the doors on the outside.
wow. And he never got his card from Dr. Eden. I see him now, Olson. PFC 1426XY. Well, he got a 6 sack
Mm-hmm.
cut. All right, Olson. I misspelled him.
And thus ends
Damn.
our adventure.
Whew.
It says at the end, what happens next? Well, we're not running this as the first game as a one shot, because if we were, then it would mean that the players could then get back up and get off the planet, and we would say that that's the end. However, it seems like you would like your adventurers to go further into this mystery.
Yeah, we have to. So look, we're not getting off the planet because there is a jamming signal. So
Mm-hmm.
even though I asked the guy to come back, remember I asked him to come back? He's probably not gonna. So our only hope to get off the planet is to go to Huron Station, remove the jammer, which I'm sure is there. Find Eden is probably there, and if he's dead, then find the robot and then get rescued. That's what you have to do.
All
Yeah,
right. So next is going to be Huron Station, which is a dam
yeah.
over a lake on one side and a dam to a lower stream on the other side. It is a wide curvature of concrete, but that is going to be far down the road.
Okay.
Luckily, you have a vehicle to get there.
Yes.
And when we play next, the Heron Station has three separate areas like this one.
Oh boy. So it's 3 times as large.
It's well, when you get there, there's three places to go, and then you choose one of those, and it changes the route of the plot.
All right. All right. Cool. Cool. Looking forward to it. I'm having tons of fun.
Enjoying it?
This is good. Yes. It's a good story. It has good twists. I love the way you narrate things. You're very fair as a dungeon master or whatever the title is, and I'm enjoying
Warden
it.
is what they call it.
Warden, sure. All right. It is fun. It is fun. Thank you, sir.
I think if we had a group of 4 people, there would be dynamics between. It is
Yeah.
fun to watch you play 4
Yeah,
characters.
I know. I'm schizophrenic. Do you have 3 people to join us?
I'm sure. Well, it's hours schedule. I have to figure out we get people that have the same hours.
All
I
right.
want to throw my son in, but I don't know how well he does with
Listen, tell
social
them to
events.
watch the videos and they can see four very distinct personalities and just pick the one they want. Just leave it Draco. And
What I'm probably going to do is have them make their own character and then kind of retcon the plot to that
yeah,
character with you
sure.
the whole time.
They arrived there or they survived or something. That would be a good
It's
thing.
like it's like this was the pilot, and then we pick up the full TV show.
Yeah.
It just played by new actors.
Sure, sure. Sean, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Any time, man. Tim, I love Tim, but the man is like
We're
not
being
seeing how to
recorded.
do anything on a regular schedule
We're being recorded. He's gonna see this in YouTube.
because he's like, let's do it Tuesday. No, let's do it Wednesday. No, let's do it Tuesday every week. It's like I don't know which. And then when I skip Tuesdays to play Wednesday, he's like, let's just not play either day.
All
So,
right.
uh,
Tell him to join us. He likes playing androids. I remember his
I'll
android
probably
character.
just get him in on this game because the other game. The problem with the other game is that everybody's schedules conflicted and they're all working different jobs now, so we can't get
Yeah.
people back into the same schedule.
All right. All right. All right, sir. I'm gonna stop the recording, but thank you again, everybody watching us in YouTube. 2 hours and 37 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. And the recording stops, and I click the button. Bye bye.